We live in a world where thinking is often viewed as the highest form of power. We're told to think harder, think faster, to analyze every aspect of our lives to find solutions, to control what is happening. But what if I told you that sometimes thinking less is the key to raising your vibrational energy? What if the real power comes from letting go of the endless chatter of the mind and connecting to something deeper, something beyond thought?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
You see, when we overthink, we're operating from the mind, which is often driven by fear, doubt, and a need to control every outcome. This keeps us trapped in lower vibrational states because we're too focused on what went wrong in the past or what might go wrong in the future. But when we start to think less, we begin to live more in the present moment, the now, which is where all higher energy resides. In the now, there is no fear of the past or anxiety about the future, there is just being. And in being, we naturally start to raise our vibrational energy. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, how often are you lost in thought? How many times a day are you replaying old conversations, worrying about things that haven't happened yet? The more we engage in this kind of thinking, the more we disconnect from our true self. But when we think less, we begin to feel more. We start to hear the whispers of intuition, the guidance of our higher self, which can only come through when the mind is quiet. One of the first signs that you're raising your vibrational energy by thinking less is a sense of peace that begins to fill your life. You may notice that situations that would have triggered you in the past no longer bother you as much. It's not that the external world has changed, but your internal world has. You're no longer reacting to every little thing because you've stopped overthinking. You've created space between your mind and your emotions, and in that space, peace can enter. Another sign is that you start to feel more connected to the flow of life. Things seem to happen with more ease. You're no longer forcing outcomes or trying to control every detail. Instead, you're trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. This trust comes from being present, from not getting caught up in the stories the mind creates. And when you trust, you align yourself with higher frequencies, because trust is a higher vibration emotion, while fear and doubt keep you stuck in lower vibrations. You might also notice that your relationships start to improve. When we think less, we become better listeners, more present with the people around us. We're not distracted by our own thoughts or judgments, so we can truly hear and connect with others. This presence creates deeper, more meaningful interactions because people can feel when you're fully there with them. And as your energy rises, it naturally uplifts those around you, creating a ripple effect of higher vibrational energy in your relationships. Now let's go deeper. Ask yourself this question: what would my life look like if I started to think less? What if, instead of constantly analyzing and controlling, I just allowed life to unfold? You might start to notice that your mind resists this idea. The mind loves to be in charge, loves to feel like it's in control. But the truth is, the more we try to control, the more disconnected we become from the flow of life. When we think less, we allow the universe. As we continue this exploration, let's talk about the transition from overthinking to flow. Overthinking is a form of resistance. It's the mind's way of trying to control outcomes, to predict every possible scenario in order to feel safe. But real safety, real alignment, comes when we surrender that need for control and step into the flow of life. You see, the universe is always moving, always guiding us toward our highest good, but we can only tap into this flow when we stop thinking so much. Think of it like this: when you're in a river, struggling against the current, trying to swim upstream. It's exhausting, right? That's what overthinking feels like. You're constantly fighting, constantly trying to figure everything out. But when you let go, when you allow yourself to be carried by the current, everything becomes easier. That's what it feels like to raise your vibrational energy by thinking less. You're no longer fighting against life, you're flowing with it. One of the most profound signs that you've entered this state of flow is a sense of synchronicity. Suddenly, things start to align in ways you couldn't have predicted. You meet the right people at the right time, opportunities seem to fall into your lap, and life feels like it's working with you, not against you. This is not luck or coincidence. This is the universe responding to your higher vibration. When you think less and trust more, you open yourself up to the infinite possibilities that exist in every moment. Another sign is that you start to feel more in tune with your body. Overthinking disconnects us from our physical selves because we're so caught up in the mind. But when we think less, we begin to notice the subtle signals our body is sending us. We become more aware of what we need, whether it's rest, movement, or nourishment. This heightened awareness of the body is a direct result of raising your vibrational energy, because the body and mind are deeply interconnected. When one is at peace, the other follows. You might also find that creativity flows more easily when you think less. The mind is great at solving problems, but it's not where true creativity comes from. Creativity comes from the heart, from the soul, and it can only emerge when the mind is quiet. Whether you're an artist, a writer, a musician, or simply someone who enjoys creative expression, you'll notice that ideas and inspiration come to you more freely when you're in a state of flow. You're no longer trying to force creativity, you're allowing it to come through naturally, which is a sure sign that your vibrational energy is rising. But here's the thing: this shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. It takes awareness. It takes a willingness to let go of the need to analyze and control every aspect of your life. So, I invite you to ask yourself, where in my life am I overthinking? Where am I resisting the flow? The answers to these questions will show you where you need to let go, where you need to think less and trust more. Now that we've explored the signs of raising your vibrational energy by thinking less, it's time to talk about how to integrate these higher vibrations into your daily life. It's one thing to experience moments of flow, moments of higher energy, but how do we make this our default way of being? How do we live a life of trust and flow, rather than one dominated by overthinking and control? The key to integration is consistency. It's about creating practices that help you stay in alignment with these higher frequencies. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through meditation. Meditation is the art of thinking less, of quieting the mind so that you can connect to your higher self. Even just a few minutes a day can make a profound difference in your ability to stay present, to stay in flow. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being fully present in whatever you're doing, whether it's washing the dishes, walking in nature, or having a conversation. When you're mindful, you're not lost in thought, you're fully engaged with the moment. And when you're fully engaged with the moment, you're naturally raising your vibrational energy. It's also important to surround yourself with people and environments that support this higher vibration. If you're constantly around people who are negative or environments that are chaotic, it's going to be much harder to think less and stay in flow. So take a look at your surroundings. Are they supporting your growth or hindering it? This is a crucial question because your environment plays a big role in your ability to stay aligned with higher frequencies. Finally, remember that this is a journey. There will be times when you fall back into old patterns of overthinking, and that's okay. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be aware. When you catch yourself overthinking, simply bring your awareness back to the present moment. With time and practice, thinking less will become your natural state, and as a result, your vibrational energy will continue to rise. So I leave you with this. Are you ready to live a life of trust and flow? Are you ready to raise your vibrational energy by thinking less and feeling more? The choice is yours, and the time to step into this higher way of being is now.